Aye.
Motion approved 5-0. We have a closed session and gave guidance on negotiations with CSTA. Okay, recognition.
Recognition, yeah. Tonight we're recognizing our technology institute, Brianna and Jared. But it struck me the other day just how reliant we are on there and how much we do. I mean, there's been huge lifts, transition to student information system, the view boards, the dual authentication, but the day-to-day is what people don't see. I mean, all the calls to fix things, but Brianna was in a classroom this week and last week teaching AI to students. You know, she's a former teacher, so the teachers love it. Yeah, bring her anytime. And then Jared was setting up the gym for our ASB speeches for the sound system. We asked them to do everything, anything that's tech related. You know, my watch doesn't work. Brianna, and it's I think that we don't publicly acknowledge them. A team of two is well, it's a team, I guess, but it's not a lot of power, people power. But thank you guys. You're very, very appreciated, and I'm glad we could say it publicly. Thank you.
A very powerful two-person team.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I have one speaker request form. Ms. Vierengo, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. You know me as Laura Vierengo, the STA president, but tonight I respectfully ask that you see me just as Laura Vierengo, ELD teacher. That's it. That's the position that I was hired for, and just like so many, I'm wearing many hats and juggling which hat am I now is sometimes difficult to maintain. I don't think there's anyone who can argue that I wouldn't do anything in my power to make sure that my English learner families aren't given a fair and equitable voice. The newest voice I need you to hear tonight are the families who are home insecure, have food insecurity, and or clothing insecure. I just had the honor of helping a very grateful family enroll, register, locate legal services, get food, clothing, fill out bus forms, medical services, etc. They are an asylum family. The kids couldn't go to school without hearing gunfire day in and day out. For them, this is paradise. 1 room for a family of 4 in an aunt's house. However, that is considered to be homeless. They are trying to get jobs. They can't get a job because they still need papers. Sorry, I didn't have chat to help me this time. In the past few years, I've helped at least 4 families multiple times. We need to provide training to our faculty and staff to be better aware, which is provided by the County Office of Education at little to no cost. However, we need your support. It takes a village, but isn't even 1 homeless family, and who knows how many more, too many. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. We love your heart. Thank you.
You did it again every time.
So, Eric, let's figure out what we need to do, and you can bring back a plan to us. Or?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, bargaining unit presentations. Laura Vierengo. Okay.
Chris made her cry again.
Thank you.
I am Heidi Scaroni. I teach 3rd grade, but tonight I am here on behalf of STA, and I'd like to say that we really appreciate the sacrifice that the board makes to serve us and to assist our community to be all that it can be. A little highlight, she said, to talk about some happy things that were happening. we are loving, Spreckels staff is loving our new PD, talking about the science of reading and how it's equipping us to better, especially me, better serve those small groups. The third grade highlight is we just finished Selena's history. So we end the year with Spreckels history. We started off with Selena's history, and we're all going to visit our very first mayor's house. It was built in the 1800s and has been moved a couple times, but the kids get to go and wash socks and hang them out to dry and make that. Has anyone here been on that field trip? See, okay, it's a fun one. But thank you for the opportunity, and the union would like to say thank you for the support we feel from you guys to make education all that it needs to be here. Did I forget anything? Okay. I'm not gonna cry.
Thank you. All right, CSCA? No. Board member comments. Steve?
Yeah. That's one more board meeting for him. November.
Thank you for
Yeah,
translating.
you got it.
Peter?
Oh, let's see. Enjoying the Indian summer, 107 in Hollister today. I got my flyer in the mail for Measure O, so I'll start working on that. And got my license to drive again, so I'll be still seeing Eric and I'll be coming to see you next. That's it.
Frank?
No comment.
Stephanie?
No comment. I know.
Only thing I wanted to comment on was Laura. Sylvia came, I was teaching a class on immigration at the university, and Sylvia, Laura's aide, came and spoke. And I didn't know, she spoke about her travels from Hungary. I didn't know this woman was a licensed pharmacist. And her husband's doing research. That's why she came to New York, and that's why she ended up here. Very interesting story. She was so worried, one, that she didn't have any story to tell. She had a great story to tell. So if you get a chance, talk to her. And two, she was worried that her accent would get in the way, and it's not in the way. It's just charming. So, it was another opportunity to learn somebody fabulous from this district, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. Okay, oral and written communications. I have 3 pieces. One is something from the Panetta Institute about their survey on America's college students that I will pass down. The second is we got an email from the Equity Committee co-chairs about the candidates that are going to be up to join the board later on, and so we gratefully received that input. And then finally, Peter said something about the mailer that you all got at home, and you want to.
Yeah, so this is the first of 4 that the district puts out. And I tried to explain last meeting, I didn't do a very good job of what the district can do and what private citizens can do. The district can just put out facts. This is the measure, this is what it'll cost, this is what we'll do. And so that's what you see. The next one's going to be a list of the projects that will be included in the bond. Pictures will be a little bit more uplifting. This is about shining on the problem. The next one's going to be kids. That's why we're doing it. But again, the board can't advocate publicly about it. However, private citizens can. So if you or anybody else would like to take the flyer and take a position one way or the other as a private citizen, that's totally within your rights, my rights, the board's, as long as we don't use our titles. So again, that's not for or against. Those are just the rules. And yeah, and Bernard, the next one's like within a week or so, right? The next one's coming. Yeah, the election is November 5th. So as you're getting a lot of information, I'm sure in the mail. You'll be getting ones from the district, and
If the next one's not out yet, we could.
yeah, Spreckels with an L. Yeah.
The return address.
On the back, on the address line, we missed an L. So.
I am the reminder of turning on microphones person.
My bad.
Thank you, Steve, for taking on that important role for one more meeting. Yep. All right, superintendent report.
So yeah, the kids are real resilient because we did our best to beat the heat, and we kept them inside in the shade, water breaks, but it was hot, and it was really hot. But the kids did a great job. So much in fact that today at BV we had about 25 kids give speeches for ASB, and it's really nice. Our AC and our gym works great. It's a good place to hang out right now. Speaking of heat, hopefully it will go down a few degrees because on Saturday we have our carnival, which is a wonderful community event. It gets all the families together. There's great food, fun, entertainment. Our help me out. That's it. Dancers will be going off at 12 o'clock, right? At 12 o'clock, and they're a lot of fun to see. So hopefully people will come out, celebrate, spend some money for the district. I think there's going to be some great produce that you can get cheap. Yesterday was officially Seabeds Day, and that's the day that they do a snapshot of our enrollment or demographics. So we'll have that information carefully or soon. Transition to BV. I mentioned ASB. The kids did a wonderful job. Mrs. Jones, who's the teacher in charge, is taking on ASB as one of her teacher in charge duties. So she's doing great there. 25 kids, and they all have very well prepared speeches. The audience was great, and it's nice seeing democracy. We try and tell them, and this is the process, and this is why it's important for you to be active in it. So it was good to see in real time. We will at Buena Vista have student conference, fall conferences for parents, October 14th to the 18th. And the switch from, or the transition from Spreckels to BV can be a hard one to understand for parents, because at Spreckels you meet with all your parents, because you have 25, 28 in the classroom. At BV, just due to the numbers, you start with the kids that really need, that are struggling somehow. You start there, then add others. Now, we had a really nice conversation yesterday in our staff meeting about be that parent that's walking into 6 faces of teachers. A lot of it's going to be your kids struggling. So what would we want as we try to work on some empathy and point of view? And I think it was a great conversation about, if you're on that side of the table, how can we build that partnership and say, okay, yeah, little Johnny's struggling, but we have a plan, and we can work together. So I just want to thank the staff because they came up with great ideas about that. Our 6th graders are very excited. They're planning their first field trip of the year, and Frank will be hosting. Thank you, Frank, at the Patch. I hope you know that. you got 110 kids coming your way real soon. Best part about it's right down the road. Heather, bus. It's gonna be the best bus ride for anybody. And last, our jazz club and art after school enrichment programs are started this month. Big hits. We're trying to identify other options for kids. Just the middle school is really hard to compete with after school sports, so we're trying to find a combination of options, and let our kids do what they do well, whatever that is. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Amanda. Ms. O'Hara.
Hi. I feel like I'm copying Mr. Torello, Dr. Torello. Short and sweet this today, but we're excited about a lot of things going on. We just had our student council speeches as well, and 24 kids. Super excited. They were dancing and singing and creating their own songs on stage. It was really well received. It was very creative, very enthusiastic. The audience was great. It was really good. So that was fun to see. So we have our student council going. Mrs. Santiago is heading that this year, so she does a really great job with them. They have their first meeting next week. They're excited. Our PD has been really well received, like Mrs. Scaroni said, so that's been great to see. The teachers are really excited about it and getting some good ideas, so that's good. Grades 1 through 5, we're excited, are all getting aid support, which is huge. So they're all getting that weekly, daily, so that's been really a change for our site, so it's been good. We're still working on getting people there, but it's been good. We're settling, kind of all of those creeks out, so that's good. We're excited about the carnival, and things seem to be settling out, so it's been good. Yeah, and
Great.
our after-school programs have been good too. Really busy and crowded, and lots of excitement about that. So, all good.
Great.
Thanks.
And our new principal just cruising along. Good job.
Well, at least we didn't schedule the carnival for the hottest week of the year, right? Because we just got
Hottest
done
week,
with
this is
that.
the last, the week after, right?
Okay. Foundation representative, PTO representative,
PTO's here.
Bobcat. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hi, good evening. I'm Taryn Ryan.
And so actually, speaking of Locorico,
That's how you say it. That's what I was looking for right there. That's what I was looking for.
I will not be saying it.
Okay, yeah.
my son will be in there, so I'm
Awesome.
excited. Hopefully they can beat the heat a little bit and it comes down a little bit, but we're excited. PTO is near and dear to our hearts. We really truly believe that with parent-teacher participation with our principal, that we can make Spreckels a unique experience for everyone. So that's why we're here, and we have some updates and a few things we
Yeah,
want to
we
share.
are super excited how the year has started. We had our first free fun Friday. We gave popsicles to all the kids. They were super excited. Too bad it wasn't this Friday because it's really not. But we have our first like actual paid fun Friday next Friday. We're gonna do donuts, and so
Which
that'll.
everyone was able to prepay ahead of
Yes.
time if they wanted to, which was something that we started new this year, because that was one of our things too that Taryn and I try to do is take feedback that the teachers or parents are saying and implement that.
Yeah.
So one of those things where we've missed it again. My kid didn't get it because they missed their $2. I forgot to put it in there. This year, we gave them ample time to get onto our website, and they could prepay for all those Fun Fridays as well as their green bagel. So there's no reason for anybody
Yeah,
to
to miss
their
out. So that was
opportunity.
exciting. And we are super excited for our carnival this Saturday. It's going to be a great day. But there is something we want to talk to you guys about this evening. So we had an idea brought to us last year.
Don't be nervous. You guys all look so nervous. This
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, no.
nervous?
She looked at me like, be careful.
Well, no. So it's actually
Tired,
really good. So
man.
PTO would like to run with this idea, but before we do that, we obviously would need your guys' permission for us to even do that. So the second and third grade area, it's kind of the G wing right there, that grassy area is what we're kind of going to talk about. It's usually overgrown with weeds and muddy in the winter and things like that. But we are wanting to implement something that would keep that area clean.
Along the lines of our beautification.
Yes, it's something like that. So have like level ground. It'll be a lot safer for the kids. We're thinking like concrete bricks and things like that.
Actually brought a sample.
Yes. So this is what there's a few. So it'll be like maintenance free, more like PTO would cover maintenance for that and everything, all of that kind of stuff. Kids are always waiting there in the beginning and after school. So we thought it might be fun to have maybe the design that we decide have like hopscotch or something for the kids to act with, on the ground. But in order for us to fundraise, we were thinking parents, me as a mom who's been here, my kids have been in the district for 11 years. By the time we leave 15 years, I would buy a brick with my family's name on it and the dates we're here, kind of like Tatum's Garden or Disneyland. So this is like a little sample brick, and we were thinking that we can fundraise by having parents or families
Purchase a brick. Or
and that would
multiple
help.
bricks.
Yeah, or multiple bricks, and it would help us, and we would put those bricks into the ground in some way. Again, very new, very fresh. We haven't gotten all the details of what we would do, but in order for us to be able to run with this idea, we would need your permission.
Yeah. And the first person that you should talk to is Andy, but Andy's not here anymore. So the first person that you need to talk to is Yo.
Better makes everything better.
Yeah, but just to make sure that we're not interfering with any existing plans or any of that kind of stuff. So Bernard, can I
Yes.
put you as the contact
Yeah,
person? and
because
start
it
that
would be
conversation?
something PTO would fully cover, financially, so it's not, it would just be the district giving us permission to do something with that area.
Yeah.
And obviously, we wanted to communicate because the maintenance
Yeah.
and all that.
Yes,
Please tell me we don't have to go through DSA for this.
No.
Gotta check on that.
We kind of
Stay
thought there would
tuned.
be, we kind of
Yeah.
thought there would be
There's some
things that we would
bureaucracy we have
know.
to.
we figured
Figure
too as
out,
much, so,
yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know we'll have to get like different contractors right
Yeah,
out there and
yeah.
everything. But
Great idea, though.
it is,
Yeah.
yeah, there's
If we can
been
do it.
multiple ideas of that kind of
And
coming
we get
in
to
and.
choose how much we sell this bad boy
Yeah.
for,
Mhm.
or what portions we do. We even spoke about having different color-coded ones, and the red ones are significant,
Higher,
just different
yeah.
tiers of giving. And so we can incorporate the price of what construction and all of that would look like into that, but we would need your help to kind of configure that. But we would like to bring some sort of, if we're not going to paint the building or at least power wash it, maybe we can have the G-Wing.
Or anytime soon, we're waiting. Yeah, but we're just thinking that. And again, this obviously wouldn't happen this year, but it is something that we are wanting to
Yeah.
Go move
Kind of
forward
put it
and-
out there. Okay.
Well, I'm sure the board would be very supportive of having PTO pay for that, but yeah, we need to go through, make sure that we go
Yes,
through the
and
proper
we
steps
figured
and make
all
sure
of
that nothing's
That's why
happening.
we
So,
wanted to kind of, people
Yeah.
are coming to us, so we wanted to present it to you guys, and then if, once you guys figure that out and we get the okay, we will run with it.
great. Connect with Bernard, and
Okay.
that's the next step, and we'll
Okay.
keep moving on it. But sounds
Thank
great.
you
Thank
so
you so much,
much.
you
I
guys.
appreciate it.
Okay, how about Bobcat Club? Okay. Program updates. Heather, you want to take this for, no.
I think Eric was gonna give,
yeah,
Eric was gonna give the facilities
Oh,
update.
okay.
Bernard and I actually met with Andy last night, so he gave us the talking points. And Andy's not gone completely. He's going to be working on an hourly basis, doing some projects for us. For example, he'll be here at 6 o'clock on the Saturday, making sure the HVAC, the new HVAC is doing its thing. Speaking of, so he mentioned the HVAC above 9, 10, 11. It was making sounds in Andy fashion. He's not going to let it go. So, yes, as somebody's in the room that can't, yeah. So he's going to take a look at that. Also, it's update on the solar. The solar at Buena Vista is ready to go. It's been switched. Now we're just kind of looking for how much money we saved because a lot of AC was on this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we save some there. The one here was stalled for a couple of reasons. They're looking for a week or weeks to come back and level out the top. That's going to include bringing heavy machinery back, so it's got to find time when kids aren't here. And there's an issue with relocating the panel to match the address that gets credit for the solar. Yeah, how'd they miss that? Well, anyways, it's on their dime, but it's going to slow it down a little
Yeah.
bit. So that's what's going on in facilities. Right?
Okay. Any questions? Food service?
Food service, just quick update. Both sites had surprise inspections, passed with glowing colors, which I would expect from the staff. So that's good. So we march on and forward. And it would be interesting to see if, to Laura's point earlier, that we could possibly see how our nutrition program can supplement or help those families that
Great.
that need the assistance. So I'd be interested in that conversation.
Okay, thanks. Transportation?
And
Bernard, or-
transportation, I don't think Heather has much to add tonight. Other than, she continues to do a remarkable job. We're down one driver.
Yeah.
We're fortunate that we have two fantastic subs come to the rescue, but it's something that we all need to really, all hands on deck.
Here's an example of what she deals with on a weekly basis. All of a
That's right.
sudden, something went one way, right? in Toro Park, and which really affected our routes and our timing. So she's working that out. She had meetings. Thank you, Heather.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Bree, anything about technology? Remember to push the button on your microphone.
This little red light, that's how you know the button's turned.
There you go.
Really nothing big new. All of the projects that we talked about last time are up and going. Multi-factor is pushed out and turned on for everybody as of October 1st, and I haven't really heard anybody having many difficulties, just a couple kinks to work out. And then I guess the most exciting thing is our PD plan. That this year, for the first year, we have kind of like a internal professional development plan, and one of those is a book club, and we have 25 people signed up, so a lot more than we had anticipated, so that's really exciting. Looking forward to having like kind of a asynchronous book club happening where teachers can have conversations about topics, try them out.
Real books are on the tablet.
Real books.
The first one, it's teacher risk assessment leader
Yeah,
or something like that.
data-driven decision making. So we're going to be looking at assessment practices.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's about it in technology.
Okay, thank you. Okay, class configuration.
This comes monthly. Really no changes from last month, right?
No.
Any questions, guys? September fund balance?
September fund balance, again, like we talked about the last meeting, all the information's there for you until we get our balances roll forward and we get our final hiring revisions made, which will be going into the first interim. We'll really know where we stand. One thing to just keep in mind is, so we have now fully expended all the money from the solar project that we financed. We ended up with about 98,000 shorter than what we would hoped for out of that, but that was mostly due to legal fees that they charge as they invest our money and then pull it out and go back and forth. So we're looking at roughly close to $500,000 is where we'll be paying out of the general fund, largely because of the 2 change orders as a result of moving the project from the grass field over to here. That's about $360,000 of that amount, and then the other $98,000 that we did. So it's something that's going to hit us, and that we need to be aware. It's obviously it's a one-time hit. It's not something that's structural, but it does. You know, we're going to feel the effects of it, and something that we'll have to address as we go into first interim.
And hopefully we're recouping some of that as we run our air conditioning, right?
Yeah, we're waiting anxiously to see the first results of that.
Thanks, Bernard. Monterey County Office of Education review of the adopted budget and LCAP.
This is the final step of what we brought you in June. We bring you the LCAP and the budget to be approved. Then the MCOE does its final review, and so what you see here is the letters saying they agree with us, and maybe some cosmetic changes to the LCAP at best. But again, now it's been MCOE blessed, and we implement what we say we're going to do.
Right. Okay, any questions? No? Educator Effectiveness Fund survey?
Okay, so this is a grant program that was started in 2021, runs through June 30, 2026, and it's money that's earmarked for various educator training, if you will. And so the 2 areas that we've used to date are coaching and mentoring, so our coaching and mentoring programs, and then working on standards aligned instruction. So we were originally awarded $192,974. As of the end of the year, we go into this year with $95,558, and we have right now about $50,000 earmarked for this year to expend, which will leave us with about $40,000 for the next fiscal year.
Thank you. Okay. The first action item is we need to go to a public hearing so that we can hear any public input on the instructional material sufficiency. So can I get a motion to move to the public hearing?
Motion to move.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0-0. So now in public hearing, if anybody wanted to say something about the instructional material sufficiency.
It's an opportunity to use your gavel, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. So seeing none, motion to, what's the right word? Come back from.
Adjourn from.
Adjourn from, thank you. Motion to adjourn from the public hearing.
Move to adjourn from public hearing.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Hey,
Turn his microphone on.
good microphone behavior there. Yeah, you're getting
I'm
it.
learning.
Yeah.
Frank is
Okay.
being
All,
resistant.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0-0. So we're out of public hearing, and now we can move on to that agenda item. Let's get a motion to approve by roll call vote the resolution, blah, blah, blah.
Is that where we're at?
I'll move it.
Thank you.
I'll
Stephanie,
second
was Yeah, second it? Okay, so now we can present and,
We bring this annually. This is the list of textbooks used at both sites, saying that we have enough for our students. The 2 that we're planning to go into the next cycle is health at Buena Vista and social studies at the lower school. We're going to move with that process of having teams look at and make recommendations. It's really going to be budget dependent on how fast we move through that process. So,
Okay.
Question.
sure.
What about social studies at BV? Isn't that one
We
kind of
actually
getting close to?
the
thought?
TCI. We continue with TCI a few years back. For us,
I think
it's not.
2015.
Yeah. It's next in the history than social
Right,
studies.
they're
yeah.
all, I get
Yeah. Right.
And then it's fitness?
Spanish is an optional one because it's, you know, it's not a core class, but definitely should take a look at it.
Okay.
Health is, I think, the priority at this point.
Yes.
If you want to object to not a core class, you may do that. If you want to object to lower school, you can do that. Anything else that we want to pick on him?
Yeah.
Was that when I should have said something?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any more questions? Roll call vote. Frank? We're voting to approve this compliance.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Alphabetically, Peter?
Aye.
I just lost it. Oh, yeah. Steve?
Full-throated aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 5-0-0. Bullying prevention update.
Today I actually reached out to Salinas PD to see if they have presenters for cyberbullying. We're gonna do the same with Ohana. And this might get a little negative because back in the role of full-time principal, it's hit me just how bad cyberbullying has become. My kids went through middle school about 8 to 12 years ago. Social media was a thing. It wasn't. I saw some misuse. It's now, I would call it public enemy number one for teenagers. Just telling you, parents, it's consume the kids. They're fake accounts, and kids can be really, really mean when they don't have to sign their name. And we're dealing with a lot of that, and so we're going to try to police and Ohana them. Ohana would be more of the, you know, the social emotional, and I think the kids need to know they're breaking the law at the same time. So that's the plan, my immediate plan for bullying at BV, because that's, for me, it's worse than I had heard. I mean, it's not that I haven't been there, but seeing it on a day-to-day basis and seeing the posts and all that, it's outrageous. And parents, when it says they should be 13 to be on social media, there's a reason for that. Yeah, so I think you're nodding because some of you have seen it and you know that phone. Okay, so I said enough.
Right. I wonder if this might be an opportunity to collaborate with the sessions that you are working on, Chris?
Absolutely.
With the parents.
Oh.
Microphone.
With the family communication.
Microphone, please.
It's still not on?
No.
You got
It was on. Yeah.
It was on. There you go.
hers is dim. Yeah, it's not as bright.
So anyway, it sounds like that could be a good
Yeah.
segue of helping family, because I mean, it really is. It's going to need collaboration between families and the school, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah, and we need to
awareness and
give
education
parents
about the
skills
impact.
too, because some parents are taking phones away, not giving phones kids back to work they can get on TikTok through whatever friend's account, and it's
Well, I think
it's-
families need support around this because a
Absolutely.
lot of them don't know and understand and aren't aware to some of this information.
Right. Absolutely.
Steve had a question back there.
Go ahead.
Just a comment.
Oh.
I'm simply going to say I'm very happy to hear you take a stance on that, Eric. I'm sure most of the parents are, staff are.
Good.
So run with it and do what you need to do.
Thank you.
Steve?
Well, the Salinas Valley Federation of Teachers pushed the Salinas Union High School District to fund in the LCAP the Yonder pouches that you've probably seen in the media for our middle schools, at least for now. In the month of September, I spent full days at 3 of the 4 middle schools. And I didn't see a cell phone in a kid's hand all day, those 3 days at those 3 schools, including lunchtime. And they were actually talking to each other and using their words and
Yeah.
doing healthy activities and focused on instruction in the classrooms, and teachers could focus on teaching and not redirecting cell phones. And one of the principals said at that point, and we start school so early, beginning of August, that at that point she had yet to have a social media incident, emanate from her campus
During the day.
during the day. Now we can't control
And-
when they go home. I get that, and
Yeah.
I know you're addressing that too.
Yeah.
But we need to focus on teaching and not
Yeah.
all that stuff.
you're right.
for
Oh,
during
The
the
schools you just referred to, what tool or device? were you
Yonder pouches.
using? What is that?
It is an electronic. It's a little pouch made out of some kind of Teflon-like material that has a electromagnetic lock on it. The students are issued that at the beginning of the school year, When they walk into school, they put their phone in it. They walk by a magnet. It's locked all day, and then when they leave, they walk by that magnet, and it opens up, and they can take their phone out on their way home. They're in possession of their phone all day long. It's just locked up in their possession. And is very effective. The high school teachers are wondering, why not us too? And I think we're just going to phase it in over time with the 7th and 8th graders, and then have them keep it throughout their high school career, go that route. I'm guessing, but anyways, it is something to think about and to invest in.
Okay, so as you're thinking about your bullying prevention plan.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them too.
Yeah.
I knew they were doing it. I want to get feedback, so thank you.
Sure.
Great.
This is the first year of their pilot, right?
Yep. Very successful.
Great.
Oh, and discipline data for the beginning of school at the middle schools from year X to year Y, night and day.
Yeah.
So they do make a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Okay, anything else? All right. I need a motion to approve the 23-24 CSCA classified salary ranges, Appendix D.
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you.
Monica, remind me why.
It's just maintenance because one of the classifications was off, so
Okay.
we just need to fix it.
It was well,
Yeah.
house cleaning. Okay.
Okay, having heard that, any questions? Okay, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0-0. Committee updates.
Committee updates. Our equity committee met again in September, and since they're both here, I was going to give you, it even says it, I'm not just winging it. A shout out to our co-chairs, Stephanie Owens and Laura Villarengo, our co-chairs for equity. And they're making sure we're meeting regularly, and the last one was very cool. They had more kind of interactive, asking the individuals about their equity experience. So thank you. The next one's in November. Right. Also, our District English Learner Advisory Committee, DLAC, meets on Monday. Laura also heads that. They're going to talk about a reclassification celebration in December, so hopefully we'll have the reclassified kids either December or January like we did last year. It was a celebration. It was kind of a cool event. She's also going to talk about the reclassification process and the data for the parents so they understand the process better. Data and progress monitoring. We invested in a new system called Elevate and Laura Elevation with the ELL because it's English learner, right? And Laura shared a sample printout with me and Bernard today. It was just, it's just great data that would take, hours to compile, but this does it automatically from all the assessments that we give kids. And she kind of alluded to it, but one of the topics is how can we help each other, families needing our help in the community, and how can they help each other. And the Multicultural Fair has a date, May 1st, our second annual Multicultural Fair. That's where Fork Lower Co. made their debut performance for the kids. It was great. So we're looking forward to that.
And we already have 14 countries.
Great.
That's it.
Okay. Well, make sure that, Laura, you were going to add me to a list to get notices on things. You have so many things to do, but when you get a chance.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're going to be added to that list because we're going to put you on Parent Square.
Okay. Wait, what a look you gave just over to the side there. All right. Board of Trustees Master Agenda Calendar. Who's talking about that?
This, we bring it to you every year. This is the tentative topics per month.
Okay. So let's just take a look at that, and if anything needs to be added, let Eric know, or somebody. Oh, and then you've got the PTO, Bobcat Club Foundation calendar events calendar.
Yeah, which is really wonderful these days is they work really well together. In the years past, it wasn't always like that. And so this is a nice, cohesive, all the events for all the parent groups by month. You can go down and see Carnival on Saturday. Don't forget, everybody. But thank you to parent groups for putting this together and letting you kind of see what's happening when. And if there's anything glaring that you want to talk about, this is the time. But it's all really supportive stuff.
Any board members got anything for that? No?
I just think it's a great tool. I
Yeah.
think not only for planning, but also for families. And I think it also is a beautiful document that highlights all of the great things that are happening all on one piece. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know.
Can you confirm the hours for the carnival? Because if Folklorico is reporting at noon, that's not gonna work. 11 to 3.
It says 1.
It says 1 to 4.
It is 11 to 3. But thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
You heard it here tonight.
Yeah, that's great.
It's been going out as 11 to 3.
Yeah, yeah.
We just missed 1-1, right? Yeah. One. Okay, non-Williams uniform complaints.
It comes quarterly, no complaints.
Okay, so now we get to the discussion and appointment of an individual to serve for the Spreckels Union School District. I'm going to hold off on the motion because we're not ready to do that yet. But first of all, let me apologize for this awkward, kind of clunky thing that we're about to do. You guys, we really appreciate both of you volunteering to be in this position, and I had to sit in this chair because I was appointed too, and it's just clunky, you know. So we're going to do the very best that we can.
It's required by
but
law.
We're going to thank you. Yeah, we have to do this in public session. So, having said that, our timeline is that we're going to do the interviews today. We're going to have a discussion here, and then we're going to make a appointment. The new member will be sworn in on December 5th, 2024. We're going to ask each of you the same set of questions, and we're going to ask you, while we're asking the questions of one person, the other person is going to go sit in, I think, Bernard's office, because it's a nice office. Okay.
There's succulents in there.
Yeah, there's succulents in there. That's right. And then we'll, ask follow-up questions as pointed, and then during the deliberations, it's an open meeting, so you're welcome to stay in. You're welcome to go sit in Bernard's office, whatever you want to do. So, have we figured out an order?
We went alphabetical, so Mrs. Guerrero, if you wouldn't mind coming to the hot seat. And Dr. Scott, I think you're going to be escorted by Monica to the room with the succulents.
The room with the succulents.
Well, that's-
Sure, spin in Bernard's chair.
Yeah, exactly.
With his post-it notes. We used to work together.
So Monica has decided that it's easier for you to sit and be kind of at the table with us there than standing back at the podium.
Yeah.
I don't know, you can see my knees shaking when I sit in front of you, so that's a little bit.
Okay, so we have 5 questions. We're each going to ask one.
Hold on the first question.
You barricaded your door. You can't get in.
It's open.
Did you lock your office? Yeah.
They last forever.
Especially on a day like today, huh? Mm-hmm.
Might need it. I kill every plant. It's not
Okay,
something I'm proud of.
Steve's going to ask our first question.
Hey, Rosanna, how you doing?
I'm good, Steve.
I
Thank
think
you.
we've met once or twice before. How you doing? Still doing all right?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm tired.
Oh,
But anyways, I have there are 2 questions. I can chunk them, repeat them. I'll work with you, whatever you need. You ready?
ready.
Here we go. What do you see as the role of a board member? What is your understanding of the time commitment necessary to carry out the duties of a member of the board?
So what I see for the role of a board member is ultimately to link arms with the superintendent and really drive the mission and the direction that the district is supposed to be going in, right? I think one of the biggest things as a member of the board is recognizing that we need to be both efficient and effective in our processes and our procedures, and ultimately we need to support, our students and also the faculty and the employees of the school district, because they are boots on ground. They are the ones that are interacting with our students every day. And so as a board, we're working together with the community and the parents and their desires and expectations, but also making sure that we are fully supportive of the district
in empowering our teachers to be able to do that job effectively. When it comes to the time commitment, I feel like it's no holds bar, right? It's whatever is needed when there are emergency meetings or when there are situations where you need to convene. It's not always convenient, but at the end of the day, the whole point of being on the board is that our heart is in it, because if you're like me, where you have 3 children in the district, being raised in this district, you care so much. And so time commitment wise, obviously being able to review all of the information prior to the board meeting and making sure that you understand that you're also present and available for anything else that might come through the months, and just being an ear also to the community and making sure that they understand that they have a voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peter.
My turn?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad I didn't have to do this process.
Yeah.
Man, voting's a lot much easier.
Thanks. Making me feel so much better.
What is your vision on how a child should be educated in the Spreckels Union District?
So honestly, my vision lines up with the school's mission, the district's mission, to create those learning opportunities so that we can address the needs, the diverse needs of our students, and empower them to flourish both academically and social emotionally. It's literally like everything, if I could be eloquent, that I would want to commit to. And so for me, I feel like that is the mission. That would be my vision as a board member as well. I can fully, 100% as a parent, as a community member, get behind that. And I feel like I could add value to that and also push that vision forward in the strengths that I have in, my years of experience with school districts, and also just my own education that I have pursued, because school and education has literally become my life for the last 8 years. And I found my passion in helping, all the school districts pretty much in Monterey County, including charter schools, and also now here, hopefully, as a board member.
Thank you. Frank?
Do you have any specific changes you would like to make in school district policies, programs, or the various curricula being offered? If so, what are they and why?
I tend to not like making changes initially. I like to be a part of the process and really gauge feedback from all the stakeholders before I can personally say that I have a change. I would say from a parent perspective, the district does a great job of communicating with parents, but I would like to see more bilingual iterations of the communications that are sent out. I've seen PTO do an amazing job of that, both like with videos and then also with their print materials. And I think that coming from a immigrant parent who came to the country, worked really hard, became a nurse, really instilled education and the value of education into my life, I want to make sure that we are viewing all of these decisions and opportunities through this equity lens and closing that opportunity gap for all of the students. I appreciate what was said about some of our students in the homeless situations, and also, certain ones, especially our migrant parents that are coming in and out of our agricultural community. So I would say, just in general, that we are remembering that there are diverse communities that we're a part of. Spreckels is an amazing little group, and it literally is how Ms. Viringo said, it can be such a safe and amazing place for migrant students and students that are in these, harder situations. So I love that, and I would say if we could do something where it's a small family resource center or a family resource monthly, like a family resource thing where we gather community efforts of different things that the community offers and create like this space for them, that would be amazing.
Stephanie?
Great, thank you. So what school district constituencies do you represent that may not have access to the current board, and how would you represent their voices?
I would say, like, as in my application, I've really only just recently been a part of both the PTO, and now that my daughter is in middle school, the Bobcat Club.
specifically to Spreckels. I would say in a greater scale, with the work that I do, I've had the opportunity to interact with many different school districts. It can be as high as a superintendent. It can be as simple as, you know, taking a phone call from a food service employee that has questions on their retirement or different things like that, you know. So I unfortunately am not always able to be the one that can go to all of the meetings, the parent meetings and different things because of the work that I do and, you know, the time constraints. I'm so very blessed that my husband is able to take our kids to school, pick them up, kind of participate. He's been the one sometimes in the classroom because I'm stuck at the office. You know, he's the one going to field trips when I'm again at the office. And so I feel like we make a really good team. So unfortunately, I can't always be the one that's at the school sites and volunteering and doing things like that. But I will say, as a parent that really cares about the community, I have tried my hardest to understand both sides. Because I work with school districts, understanding that side, but also as a parent that has 3 children and really cares about all of their needs being fulfilled and their growth, I try my best to always communicate what the district's heart and voice is to parents, that maybe they don't understand the why behind, you know, why can't we paint the school just like that, or why can't we do certain renovations in the sidewalk,
Bricks
or
outside in the sidewalk.
yeah, or why, and the one thing that I have heard before is, well, why do we always get asked for donations and things like that, whereas the school district down the street has all of these programs and things that their kids, and I've heard that their kids get so many other things, and addressing those just on a personal level, like, hey, those districts actually get a lot of supplemental concentration funds that they can specify to these different programs. And Spreckels doesn't get some of those fundings the way that other districts do. And trying to create understanding for parents so that they see the district in that light and recognize, like, we're doing all that we can with the resources that we have, and we're literally, like, maxing out every time, like, topping as much as we can with what we have. And so while I don't have boots on ground in a lot of organizations, as a community member, as a parent, I try to voice the heart of the district and clarify things in the way that I know how, so that we're all on the same page and we understand that we're all for the same goal, right? To make sure that our kids are taken care of and that they grow up to be these amazing community members, right? That have dreams and aspirations and they know that they can reach it.
Yeah. Clearly, you're going to be another one of our working parents, busy working parents with kids. You know, you represent that group. Are there any other groups that you might represent or have connection to that we don't currently have here?
I would say I don't have specific group connections. I would say that I just have experience, maybe a diversification of experience that maybe others don't, you know, because like you've seen in my application, in my resume, my whole graduate studies was specific to school business leadership. You know, when we're looking at facilities, nutrition, human resources, negotiations, risk management, like it runs the gamut. And then obviously like my CBO training as well, to see that side of it and be able to analyze and kind of weigh pros and cons of those situational things in a different light. And obviously the ultimate goal is for our students to be successful, but the foundation and the structure to get them there, right? Unfortunately, money's a big part of that at times. And so just understanding those pieces of it, I feel like I could add value to, even though I don't have specific organizations that I'm already connected to. And it doesn't mean I can't get there either. There's always room for growth.
I think you start answering this question. What do you feel are the top challenges facing the district, and what would you do as a school board member to meet those challenges?
Well, I think every school district always talks about declining enrollment because those are dollars. And I mean, it's unfortunate to say like, oh, you know, butts and seats creates money. But the reality is that that's how the state funds a lot of the revenues that we're receiving. So I think the commonality between all school districts, including this one, is the declining enrollment and the learning loss, mitigating that learning loss. And how do we do that? Do we have the funds to be able to do that? Do we have the people, like they shared in the prior board meeting? Do we have the paras? Like, maybe we have the money, but can we actually garner these amazing employees that we need to be able to continue to support the students in the classroom, which ultimately can address the learning loss? And yeah, that's.
Just so the rest of the board knows, I asked Dr. Torello to reach out to Dr. Gust at the County Office of Education, since you work there, and to find out, you know, what do we know about this woman? And your report is?
Very glowing and sharp as a whip, quote unquote. So, yeah, she was very, she spoke highly of you.
Yeah. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any follow-up questions for any of us? All right, we're ready to switch places.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Are those live succulents? They're live. Those are live plants. Huh? Oh, okay. So don't water. Oh, okay. So don't water them. Yeah. Hello.
Sure you don't want me to face everybody? No, just you guys?
Yeah.
Just you.
Yeah.
Just feels like
That's a good.
you have
That,
an audience.
that was a nice thought.
Yeah.
But we set up this way, and we made her sit here, so you have to sit here too.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we've got 5 questions for you.
Okay.
Steve.
Scott, how you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome. I have a 2-part question. I can
Sure.
chunk it, repeat it. I'll work with you, whatever you need.
Okay.
Here we go. What do you see as the role of a board member? What is your understanding of the time commitment necessary to carry out the duties of a member of the board?
The role of the board member is to support the schools in really effective implementation and support of the kids. In the end, it's all about improving outcomes for the kids that are in the district. And I think you guys do a tremendous job of that as it is. I do think there's areas for growth, as there are in all districts. And I feel that our role, or your role as board members, is to really see things from the 30,000-foot lens, to bring information together that's brought to you, and then to help the district make the decision that's necessary to move the work forward. As far as your question about the amount of time, and I'm going to ask after I finish this answer how long I actually have to answer each of the questions. But with regards to the amount of time necessary to serve on a board, I think different boards require a little bit different time from my experience on previous boards, and I happen to serve on 2 others at the moment. Having sat in on this meeting, I anticipate that in addition to the time once a month where you're meeting, there's going to be time to chat with constituents, to chat with families, chat with potentially teachers, to find out what's going on, maybe even do observation. So on a numerical level, I would say I'd probably be ready to commit 2 to 3 days a month to the work.
Thank you.
Yep.
Peter.
How's it going?
Great.
What is your vision of what is your vision of how a child should be educated at Spreckels Union District?
Wow, that's an enormous question. What is my perspective on how a child should be taught at Spreckels? Okay, or within the district. I think it's our role to not just teach the academics, but also the social emotional needs, mental health needs. For the goal in the end is for kids to be productive in society and to be really effective in society. And in order to do that, obviously I need to know math, I need to be able to read, I need to be effective presenting information to people, but I also need to have strong social and emotional skills. I also need to be able to address bullying when it comes to me in the middle school, right? I need to know how to deal with social media. It would be nice if all we had to do as educators was 9 to 3, right?
Yeah.
That would be great, right? But as you all know, outside the school environment definitely has a big impact on how the kids perform and how successful they are. So, short answer to your question is our role as educators is to prepare kids to be productive in society and to be happy in society. All the components that go into that process is a part of the role of the educator.
Good.
Thank you.
Frank?
I'm sorry. Do you have any specific changes you want to make to school district policies, programs, or various curricula currently being offered? If so,
Yeah.
what are they and why?
Yeah, I think it's a great question and one I've actually thought quite a bit about. I think the first job is to listen and learn what's really going on, right? I have 3 kids that have gone through this district or are going through the district. And while I know the parent perspective, I know there's a heck of a lot more than just the parent perspective, right? That matters. And right now, I have a bias as a parent, which is fair. So my first role, before I would say, this is what I want to change, I'm not in that place. I'm not in a place where, hey, we need this building, we need this strategy or what have you. My first role is to really understand better what's actually taking place, what is working really well, and what is not really working really well. And having the experience I've had over the last 20 years in education has allowed me to be able to pull things together and see where those opportunities for real growth are within the system that we're operating in. So short answer to your question is no, I don't have a specific target. Although if I did, it would be around the academic and behavior support strategies. I do a lot of training on reading instruction. I run the reading center at the university. So I have a lot of opinions and a lot of experience around effective reading, including science of reading, which you guys are getting PD in right now. Fantastic stuff. And we worked with MCOE in that. Also bullying prevention, if you saw, that's my research area, what I do a lot of work in, internationally and nationally. So I have a lot of wishes to help the schools improve in those areas. But my first role is really to understand what's going on better. Really understand, for example, what the situations are at the middle school with the bullying. Understand better what the issues are with the reading or the math or whatever curriculum decisions are being made.
Thank you.
Great. Stephanie?
What school district constituencies do you represent that may not have access to the current board, and how would you represent their voices?
Oh, I love that question. I think a big one are English language learners. And I've been fortunate enough to work with Laura quite a bit with regards to the Reading Center. We work specifically with kids who are English language learners. And I feel that constituency is critical, especially in where we live. And those voices are not heard often in the school day or in the school structure. And it's hard to say I represent that. I'm an old white guy, right? So I don't represent that perspective, but my heart is fully in support of diversity. I run the special ed program, right? So the kids are English language learners, but also kids with disabilities are at the center of my heart and where I work. I started as a special ed teacher, and I specialize in working with kids with the most challenging behavior you can imagine. That's where my heart is. So those are 2 constituencies I would say I would really support or I don't know the right word, but help or want to give more voice in the district.
Scott, what do you feel are the top challenges facing the district, and what would you do as a school board member to meet those challenges?
Yeah, I think financials are always a big challenge. And every single school board that I've worked with, and every single board I've worked with, financial situations are always a challenge. I think Again, the number of English language learners in our community creates an additional challenge. I think being a small district creates a challenge. It's harder to implement some of the things we know work the best when you have less staff, when you have less financial resources at your disposal to do some of the things. Thankfully, there are a lot of cheap ways to do things very effectively. So there are strategies that can be really powerful within environments like this. But I think the center challenge is really around financials and how do we create systems that can really flourish within that environment.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Similarly, I reached out to my contacts over at CSUMB to find out what people thought of Dr. Ross over there. And two words, well, not two words, but two thoughts came through from everybody that I talked to. Really smart, and two, passionate. The things that he's into, he's passionate about, and I think we saw that represented here. So no one was, and I should say, everybody that I talked to said that he would be a fantastic addition to the board. So you have lots of friends over there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can we get Ms. Guerrero back in?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I sit there?
Yep. You can.
You guys have a choice of joining the deliberation or.
And actually, what I was going to say was, I forgot to ask her, and I forgot to ask you, do you have any questions for us? So I thought I'd let her come back in. You can ask us questions, and then.
Actually, I do.
Yeah, but let her hear the, yeah, so she can hear that response too, yeah. Because I'm thinking we'll have to answer that question once, yeah. Okay, so, Ms. Guerrero, I invited you back in for this part because I forgot to ask you, do you have any questions for us? And I didn't ask that of Dr. Scott either. So I thought, if you have any questions for us, you can ask them, we can respond to them, you can both hear it, and same thing with Dr. Ross. So, okay, so Scott, come on over to, yeah.
Is that all right? So my only concern really about doing the board, honestly, is conflict of interest. So, and I want to be straightforward with everybody about that. So I do run the reading center. Previously, we had a relatively big contract with Spreckels, where I sent my teachers, my special ed teachers, here. We had four of them in the resource room teaching after school. We did that for a year. Really effective, by the way, 50% increase in our reading outcomes. Problem, the district, though, the board approved funding that project. And I do have concern down the road about the potential of, I would love to see that similar thing happen, because it was really powerful.
Yeah.
And I would hate for us to not be able to do that important work because I'm sitting on the board.
Yeah.
Similarly, I do all the PBIS, positive behavioral interventions and sports training for MQSD and for San Benito County, Hollister and Monterey.
Is that the bullying prevention?
That's included, but it's all behavior. So things you see like the pirate passes or all the schools, Bobcat Bucks, thank you. I was going to say cowboy way card. That's all of those, that's a part of PBIS, positive behavioral intervention sports, all about creating a culture where the kids want to be here. I do the training for them. I've invited Spreckels to attend the PD that we're going to be doing for that district, and there wouldn't be any charge. Down the road, one of my goals is to bring the districts together a little bit better and share costs of some of that PD. So I just want to be upfront that I'm a little bit nervous that if I'm on the board and there's an opportunity to do something really powerful, I may not be able to do it.
You just recuse yourself from the vote.
Yeah.
Just recuse yourself from the vote. It's going to be as simple as that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then there you go.
Yeah.
That was a long question for a very good answer.
No worries.
Yeah. I don't see that as a barrier. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Last chance for any questions for us? Okay, so the two of you have your choice of you can sit in here because it's an open meeting, or you could go back into the office and not hear us talk about you, but we're going to talk about you here in an open meeting. So whatever is most comfortable for you.
All right. I think I'll stick around.
Okay. So,
You want someone to start the conversation?
I would love to. Thank you, Frank.
I think both candidates are tremendously qualified, way more than I was when I signed up for this a couple years ago. We only have one spot available. At the conclusion of this conversation, we're probably going to vote.
Yeah, we're going to appoint
I'm
one.
still confused on how that procedure is going to happen.
Someone would make a motion to appoint one of
One
them.
or the other.
If someone seconds it, then we would debate it. If there's debate, discuss it, and then at some point, we would either exhaust the conversation and go to a vote, or someone would call the question and go to the vote.
Parliamentarian.
And if the person who was moved to be voted on,
Yeah.
if the majority voted nay, then is the other person
No,
automatically?
The
So-
motion fails and you have to make
Yeah.
another
That person-
motion.
Yeah,
that
someone-
fails,
No, it's
so
not
we have to make a new
automatic. You'd have to make
motion,
another
right?
motion, because it's possible we could reject both
We could
candidates.
reject both.
Yeah.
of them.
In
That-
theory.
So that is.
I don't think that's gonna
that
happen,
is-
but yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
Right. it should- it
Yeah,
should
but
not-
but is an option
could
is to
work that way.
reject both, yeah.
Yeah. But we have to actively appoint somebody
Yeah.
with a vote.
Yeah.
Well, and
But if we vote no on both of them,
Yeah.
what then do we do?
Then we're in big trouble.
Let's get there
Yeah.
and see if we
Yeah.
need to worry about that.
Well, and it says here, and I know we had talked about, are you going to get a sense for where the
Yeah,
board
that,
is
so
before-
that's what we're in right
before
now.
we
We're,
make-
now
before
we're
we
into
get
the
to motion part,
conversation.
We'll kind of, he'll feel it out.
Yeah.
So that it's not.
At some point, someone can make a motion whenever
Okay.
they feel
With
it.
all that being said, we are appointing someone tonight, most likely. I hope the person that does not get appointed today considers coming back the next time we have a board seat that needs to be filled.
And run, so we don't have to do this again.
And I'm just gonna dovetail on what Frank just said, is that we actually have a good problem.
Yeah.
I mean, yikes. Yeah, here we are, there's austerity in Sacramento for this year and next, and who knows what's after that. And we've got one candidate that can certainly assist with the decisions that a board has to make when we have to make those hard choices with our limited resources that might even be more limited. But at the same time, someone who is instructionally sound, especially with our at-risk populations, English learners, and students with disabilities that we need to lift up. I think we have a candidate that can absolutely help guide the board in that work as well.
Yeah.
So,
I know,
is there any way we can kind of have them
Take
sit
turns?
together in one seat? I don't know. I don't think so, but it's a good problem.
Yeah, they
But-
did
but
that
it's
on The
still a
Voice,
problem.
right? They
Yeah,
had the
yeah,
two-chair
yeah,
thing, yeah.
yeah.
We do have two really good candidates. I'm weighing, he has 3 kids, she has 3 kids,
That doesn't help either.
it
Yeah.
didn't help either.
Yeah.
So, the only thing that I wanted to add to this conversation was that the co-chairs of the Equity Committee pointed out that we have an opportunity to appoint somebody who represents, just even from a visual standpoint, a community that is in the district in terms of diversity that we don't have on the board currently. Yeah. But yeah, either one of them would be terrific.
It's a coin
Peter?
toss. It's a coin toss. Very impressed with both of you too. I wish we had 2 seats open because they film lovely. But guess we have to make a decision tonight.
We do. Stephanie?
Yeah, absolutely. Both impressive candidates, and I think they both have really great strengths. I think there's some differences in their strengths. I think Dr. Scott, the specificity of your area, I think is just so incredible, and obviously something that the district could benefit from. And so I'm really glad that you brought those topics up. I saw them in your resume as well too. And Mrs. Guerrero, I think I really appreciate that you have such a broad perspective and background experience from the different school lenses. I also appreciate that you brought up the equity lens, because I think that does coincide with a lot of what we're doing here in the district and directly with our mission. So again, I think both great candidates.
Yeah.
I don't, are we saying who we would
Well,
encourage, or what are we doing?
we will, sir, shortly. Steve?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Rosanna Guerrero to serve as Spreckels Union School District Trustee beginning November 7th. Is it November 7th?
No.
The
It's
person gets sworn in
December 5th.
December 5th through December 5th, 2024 through November 2028.
Yeah.
And I second.
Okay.
It's a little bit- it's got a month off. Unless you're trying to push me out early. It's okay. You know, I won't be upset.
No, you're not going nowhere.
No.
No.
Okay.
You got one more.
Okay, so we have a motion in front of us. It's been moved and
Oh,
seconded.
it was seconded?
Yes.
Okay.
So any discussion from
I've,
anybody else?
I think that having that fiscal brain on the board is something that's in our face now. That we would, well, you all would find very useful.
Yeah.
And also, you made a valid point about having diversity on the board. So that's all I have to say on my motion.
Yeah, and the only thing that I would say in support of the motion is that Steve's the one that's leaving, and Steve's the one that always is explained to us what a tweener district is, and
Yeah.
you know, it'd be good to have a replacement
So
that
we're-
kind of
you
talks,
guys- we're just
can
gonna
make
toss
sense of that
Rosanna right
same
in
thing.
here
Not
if
that
the
Dr.
motion carries,
Ross
then,
couldn't do
pick up
that,
right where I
but
left off, sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
she might make, no, I won't say that.
All right.
Any other conversation?
No, sir.
Okay, so before we take the vote, let's be real clear. We have two excellent, outstanding.
No disagreement.
And this is a tough decision for us, but it's the best kind of decision. We've got two people that could really serve the district. So we have a motion in front of us. Can we vote on it, or should we do
Does anybody want to debate it? I mean, if not, I guess we can just go to the vote.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0-0, and we thank you both. Okay, so, Ms. Guerrero, we'll see you in December, if not before.
You can come for November, too.
Practice one.
Whew. Okay, final read of the June 2024 policies per guide sheet. Motion to approve that final read.
I'll motion it.
Second?
Second.
I don't think we need to do anything. We've got it in front of us. So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0-0. The first read of the July 2024 policies per guide sheet. Motion to approve.
I'll motion it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes 5-0-0. Now we're to the consent items. Motion to approve the consent items, please.
I'll motion it.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0-0. Do we need to add anything to the future agenda items?
I don't believe so.
I'll accept a
See
motion.
celebration. Uno mas celebration.
Yeah. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. No second needed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0-0. Let's go thank our candidates.